You ever look at a huge, successful company, like an Apple or a Nike, and just wonder, how does it all work? Well, I can tell you it's definitely not magic. It's really like a powerful engine, an engine with four absolutely critical parts. And today, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to pop the hood and take that engine apart piece by piece so you can see exactly how it runs.
So, here's our game plan. First, we'll dive right into the core of that engine, operations, which is where all the value gets created. Then, we'll meet the crew that runs it all. That's human resources. After that, we'll see how marketing connects the whole machine to the outside world. And finally, we'll check the fuel gauge with financial management. Then we'll put it all back together.
All right, let's start where the action happens, the engine room. This is operations. You can think of it as the very heart of any business. It's the place where raw materials, big ideas, and hard work are literally forged into the products and services that you and I eventually use.
So what does an operations manager actually do all day? Well, they're basically masters of transformation. They take all the inputs, things like raw steel, lines of computer code, or even just a customer with a problem, and they manage the entire process that turns them into something valuable, like a finished car, a working app, or a happy client. It's a non-stop quest for making things better, faster, and smarter.
This whole process has a really clear flow. You start with your inputs. Then the business works its magic, it transforms them, and boom, you've got your outputs, the products or services. But look closely at that last step, feedback. That right there, that's the secret sauce. The really smart businesses are obsessed with this part. They are constantly listening and using that data to improve every single part of the process.
Of course, we all know that in the real world, things don't always go according to plan. The engine can sputter, right? No process is ever completely flawless, which is why a huge part of an operations manager's job is focused on preventing failures and, when they do happen, recovering as quickly as possible. And failure can really strike from anywhere, can it? It could be a flaw in the design of a brand new phone. It could be a critical machine that just breaks down. Maybe a simple human error, a late shipment from a supplier. Heck, it can even be a customer who just uses the product wrong. Good operations is all about planning for all of it.
Okay, so you've built this amazing, world-class engine. Fantastic. But now you need a world-class crew to actually run it. And that's where human resources comes in. This is the art and science of putting together a winning team.
A really common question is, who's actually in charge of managing people? The answer is, it's a partnership. Your line managers, they're on the front lines, directing their teams every single day. The HR department, they act as the specialist partner in the background, providing all the frameworks, the tools, and the support to help those managers get the best out of their people.
Just think of the HR role as a complete cycle that covers the entire journey of an employee. It actually starts before someone is even hired, by planning for the skills the company is going to need in the future. It's about finding and attracting the best people, investing in their growth, and ultimately building a culture that makes them want to stick around and do their best work.
Now, managing people isn't just about good strategy. It's also about following the law. And especially in a country like South Africa, businesses have to operate within a really detailed legal framework that's designed to protect employees and make sure everything is fair.
And this legal framework is pretty extensive. You've got acts that govern everything from fair labor relations and basic working conditions, all the way to ensuring employment equity and promoting skills development. For any manager, understanding these laws isn't just a good idea, it's absolutely non-negotiable.
Okay, so the engine is humming along and the crew is ready to go. But let's be honest, a perfect product built by a perfect team is completely useless if nobody even knows it exists. This is where marketing comes in, to build that crucial bridge between the business and its customers.
Marketing has changed so dramatically over time. We've gone from a simple era of bartering, where families were self-sufficient, through the rise of intermediaries, like the old-school hawkers in donkey carts who used to trade with farmers, all the way to today's really sophisticated marketing concept, which puts satisfying customer needs right at the center of everything a business does.
And it's so important to get this. Marketing is not just about making flashy ads. It's a complete toolkit, a whole collection of instruments that a business uses to figure out who its customers are, what they actually want, and how to deliver it to them.
This toolkit is packed with some seriously powerful tools. We're talking about market research to understand how people behave, segmenting the entire market to find your perfect target audience, and then making all those key decisions about the product itself, its price, its packaging, and exactly how you're going to get it into your customers' hands. So, we've got the product, we've got the people, and we've got the customers. But none of it works without the fuel that keeps the whole engine running. And that's money. This brings us to financial management, which is basically the science of keeping the business healthy and able to grow.
Financial managers are constantly juggling three really critical goals. First, profitability. Simply, is the company making more money than it's spending? Second, liquidity. Is there enough actual cash on hand to pay this month's bills? And third, solvency. Is the company financially stable enough to survive for the long haul?
A fundamental concept you're going to hear a lot about here is ROI, or return on investment. It boils down to a simple but super powerful question. If we put our money into this project, or this new machine, or this marketing campaign, what are we going to get back? That one question guides pretty much every major spending decision.
And now for the grand finale. Let's zoom all the way out. We've looked at the individual parts, operations, HR, marketing, and finance. But the real magic, the real power, comes when you see how they all work together as one single, finely tuned machine.
I mean, just think about it for a second. Operations can't build a single thing without finance approving the budget for the materials. They can't do it without HR hiring the skilled people they need. And what's the point of building anything if marketing hasn't created demand from customers? You see? They all depend on each other.
And this quote really gets to the heart of what management is all about. It's the art of making all these different parts, all these different functions, work in perfect harmony toward one single goal, operating as profitably as possible so you can create value for everyone involved.
So if there's one key takeaway from all this, it's to see the bigger picture. Understanding business isn't about memorizing a list of what each department does. It's about seeing how they all connect, how they influence each other, and how they all depend on one another to solve problems and ultimately to create success.
I'm going to leave you with one final thought to chew on. Think about some famous South African entrepreneurs. Like Raymond Ackerman when he first started Pick n Pay, or Herman Mashaba with Black Like Me. In that incredibly tough first year, which one of these four areas, which function, do you think demanded their attention the most, just for sheer survival? It's something to think about.